Hey, we got the homie Veston. What's up, man?
Hey, what's going on with you, man? John the guy. What's up?
You know what I'm saying? Hey, so what are your goals right now?
Man, I got a lot of goals and aspirations,
Hmm.
man. But right now, primarily, I'm making the most out of my filmmaking career, my transition out of the Army, and
Thank you
it's
for your
been.
service,
Oh yeah, appreciate you. Thank you for your service, man.
man.
My transition has been, pretty smooth. I kind of owe that to the creative space.
Okay, how did someone come from the military into filmmaking?
Yeah, man, it kind of goes hand in hand with filmmaking, to be honest with
Oh,
you.
I didn't know that.
I mean, I was combat operations, so I was infantry.
Oh, wow.
Deployed a couple times.
So
Iraq,
you
Afghanistan.
was in the front line.
Oh yeah.
You seen some shit.
Yeah. It wasn't no chair force or no pogues, man. This way.
The real deal.
Yeah, the real deal, Holyfield, man. So, we was down in the trenches, man,
Mhm.
Iraq, Afghanistan. And just growing up in Oakland, it was
That's kind of like a war zone in
almost like
itself.
a war zone in itself. Yeah, I was just about to say that. I would say most of the time when I have like compartmentalized thoughts or like pent up emotions or, just things that I typically couldn't express to, normal people. I
Hmm.
mean, you don't really just want to walk up to somebody just like trauma dump,
Oh yeah,
so
no one wants to hear
yeah,
a trauma dump these
exactly,
days.
exactly. So film is always, well, it started off with photography.
Okay, so
Photography
you were a
was like,
photographer,
yeah, yeah.
and then you wanted to have motion versus static.
Yeah. So photography was kind of like my therapy at the
Okay.
moment. So like if anybody check out my my Instagram or any of my pictures that they've seen, that all
Did
of
you
my
get into photography because of like PTSD, some shit that you've seen, or
yeah, I was just about to say, so like mainly like all of my photography is, based off of some type of emotion, man. It
Mhm.
always tells some type of story. It's just been my creative outlet, to express myself. So
Mhm.
how I started was I was actually stationed down in Germany and I was living
Okay.
there for about 4 years and I was
And
just
then you
like
got a camera and started taking pictures?
Exactly. It's like, damn, this is got castles and all
Yeah,
types of
I
shit
never
out
been to
here,
Germany, but
cobblestone, and it's
yeah.
just like, yeah, it's a different world and out there. So I was like, I gotta document this somehow. And then after a while, people started to notice that my photos were, you know, pretty good, pretty solid. And they're like,
Mhm.
oh, shoot, should start taking pictures of people. And I was just like, yeah, I probably should. And then that's kind of like where
That's
the
how long were you a
yeah.
photographer before you made the transition into film?
I would say I was a photographer for about 3 years, two to
Mhm.
3 years, and then after that, yeah, I'm really just in my second year of filmmaking.
Oh, damn!
Yep.
Because I've seen your work. If anyone doesn't know his work, you can find it on YouTube under Veston Smith. I've watched a few of your short films, and it's pretty impressive, actually.
Appreciate
Yeah.
it. Yeah, it's a work in progress,
Mhm.
man. A lot of YouTube University and
And that's the best university in the world right now.
for sure. And I worked kind of backwards. Like I kind of stumbled across some of my favorite, creators and
Who are your favorite creators?
Um, who kind of like motivated me
Mhm.
to push me to film more? Peter McKinnon.
Okay.
Obviously he's like one of the OG, goats when it comes to like the video space on YouTube.
Okay.
Um,
Shout out Peter McKinnon.
oh yeah, for sure. And then just some of the smaller creators that people probably won't know, but as far as like directors that kind of inspired me also is like Quentin Tarantino, Christopher Nolan
What
for
do you like
sure.
about Quentin Tarantino movies?
I like the reality
Mhm.
of his films. I know a lot of people think that it's a lot of excessive gore and like
I
it
love
can be yeah, I know, but
it.
I think the mental component of his films is just like something that everybody can relate to. That's kind of like how I craft like my films. I shoot, like I would like to classify my genre as like psychological thriller.
Okay.
It's mainly based on like mental health, and that's something that I resonated with Quentin Tarantino's films
Mhm.
because it's like, all right, and then just knowing that, because a lot of his films are, people don't know, but they connect with his films more than anything else, which people don't really know why they like his films. But
Because there's a human psychology.
yeah, exactly. It's the reality factor of it is like everybody's just like one mishap or one mistake away from their breaking point. You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying?
But I think that's in life. You're one
Yeah,
mishap from
for sure.
actually alternating your future.
Absolutely, absolutely. And it can be for the worse or it can be for the better.
Yeah, happy
But
accidents.
that's kind of like what I like to highlight, in
Okay,
my
okay.
films, like the reality factor of
All right. Can you tell me a little bit about elementary school, Veston? How are you like?
elementary. Man, I was hella bad at elementary. Anybody will let you know, man. I was
You a bad kid?
yeah.
Yeah.
But I grew up in the foster care system for a little while.
I didn't know that, bro.
Oh yeah, see, meaningful conversation. But my grandma, she adopted me and my brother.
Okay. Shout out to that lady.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, my mom, she had schizophrenia.
Oh, wow.
So obviously, she was unfit to, take care of me and my brother.
My brother has schizophrenia.
Oh, yes.
So I've been around it.
Oh, yeah. So you already, it's tough.
So now I know why your films resonate with mental health.
Oh, absolutely. It's, and it's funny how your life just kind of just takes this form from every aspect of your life, your experiences, and
so you were a youngster in the foster care home system for a little bit.
Yeah, for a while.
Or getting brought in by your grandma.
Yep.
Did you have what challenges? What as a kid, like, did you have like identity or?
Yeah. So I was just about to say, like, why I was so bad at elementary because it was just like, obviously as a coping mechanism, but also being schizophrenic, your brother, he really couldn't differentiate like reality from things that he was probably hearing. So my mom was the same way. So she would do things, to me and my brother or, say things, sometimes physically, sometimes, it was just like the verbally, that, my grandma would kind of have to rationalize to kids, and it's like, how do you do that?
Did you have a hard time understanding what was going on? Because it was coming from your grandma, not your mother.
Well, how would a grandma, how would anybody, kind of lessen that impact? So she would always say like, oh yeah, she loves you, still she's just doing this because she has this and that, but she would always couple that with, love. So for a long time growing up, like I associated like love with like pain. And that's kind of like what I, found out through therapy and psychedelics and ayahuasca, But I associated love with pain for a long time.
I think the greatest people on earth had to come from pain and suffering.
Yeah, absolutely. For sure.
Because they endured that and they're like, I don't want to give out pain and suffering. I want to give out positive, good energy. So like, I think the best people come from pain and suffering, honestly.
Oh yeah. I tell people all the time, like, man, I'm never at a loss of inspiration because like struggle is inspiration. like that's one of I like to call it, black privilege because it's like, nobody likes to struggle, but pressure does build diamonds, man.
Exactly.
So for me, I'm never at a loss of inspiration, things to write, scripts to write, or concepts or anything, because I just always can just pull from like life experience.
I'm a first generation immigrant, so like my family, especially my mom, she came here. I think I mentioned this before with like 4 kids and a couple of suitcases, and we were just like living apartment to apartment. And we settled in like this apartment that wasn't necessarily like the greatest area. And that was part of the pain. And, like while kids were like going off to college at 18, I was like driving my mom to work at like 6 o'clock in the morning. So it's like, it is what it is.
Oh yeah, for sure. And you learn, but some of those traits, man, you carry over into manhood. You learn at a young age that responsibility is, more important than ripping and running with your friends. And
I think that's when like I had to discover like real people and as people, what I'm saying?
For sure.
Elementary school, were you into arts? Like what kept you busy?
Yeah, sports for the most part. I played basketball all throughout my whole adolescence.
Okay. Were you on any teams?
Yeah.
Okay.
Garfield played. Well, we didn't really have a team in elementary school. But, it's just like recreationally. And then middle school, I went to Roosevelt Middle School in Oakland. Yeah, played on the team there, and then Oakland High.
Growing up, we had a neighborhood park called Playa del Rey. It was pretty rough to play basketball there. Definitely, if you survived that park growing up, like playing basketball, like you got to know all the kids.
Yeah.
There was a lot of badass kids playing in there.
For me, it was San Antonio Park because I grew up in the murders in Oakland.
Oh shit!
In the bottom, so. Everybody would just go to San Antonio and just, hoop.
In a way that probably kept you safe too, because everyone knew who you were.
Yeah, like for sure. And Oakland, hella small, it's a small, I guess it is by population is, probably medium-sized town, but Oakland itself is small, but the community is just like, it's so many people that's in the community, and you just go through grade school and everybody playing a sport or whatever, and you just kind of just harvest these relationships with everybody in the community, man.
Do you keep in touch with a lot of people from your adolescence, like high school or even earlier?
Yeah, I was just about to say, like, you never really lose contact with these people. You see them all the time,
But are they your friends? Are they acquaintances? Because
I don't throw that term friend around like, I don't really throw that term around too often. You know what I'm saying? I'll be like, that's my partner or whatever. If I call you my partner or, my friend, then, I fuck with you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But
I like how you said you don't throw that term.
Yeah. I don't throw it around a lot, man. It's because I think words mean something. But what I found out being in the military is, a lot of stuff that I would think is like, fugazi, or I would think is out here we would just think it's weird the way that people be moving in other places. They be, just being when I was serving in the Army, just being around so many different people from different towns, different states, people from the South, people from, different countries, people from, the Midwest, whatever. I be seeing how they be moving, talking behind people back, and like, I'm just like, damn, man.
Was that your first in the Army? Was that your first time having so much interaction with different people from different states?
Yeah, for sure. And for me, it's almost, it's a little bit.
Was that the first time you traveled?
Culture shock. Yeah. That's what gave me the travel bug was, just being in the military for sure.
Okay.
But just knowing that, just to circle back to growing up in Oakland, I find that growing up in the town, we just have, in the Bay Area period, we're grounded in a type of realness that is, not really seen in other places in America. That's why a lot of people like fuck with the Bay Area.
It's a shame, like how much Oakland has deteriorated the past few years.
Yeah, man.
With all these businesses leaving.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, gentrification and capitalism plays a, role into, how Oakland is pretty much fucking Gotham City, man. Oakland is like Grand Theft Auto right now, bro. And
it's crazy.
I mean, Oakland's always had, crime, you know what I'm saying?
Oakland always had crime, but
it was a code to the crime. It seems like now you got
to be in some shit to be part of the crime, but now like it's just random. Like I love eating out in Oakland, but man, just like the risk of getting your windows bipped, I'm like I had to stop.
yeah. Bipping definitely at an all-time high, but even the more heinous crimes, like you got youngins shooting people in the head, just like point blank, man. Old Asian lady. ATM just shooting her in the head, bro, because she wouldn't give them the car keys. Some youngest, bro. It's like it used to be a code, bro. Like I remember one time we had a drug lord on our block.
Oh shit.
And he FBI was raiding the place, had the whole, had pretty much the whole murders, man, the whole dub shut down.
Damn.
And blocked off and shit. And I remember he gave me some crack to hold, And
what?
Yeah, he gave me some crack to hold. I was trying to go to school.
Did you know what it was?
Yeah.
Okay.
We didn't know what it was, how to use it or what it was for. I knew it was drugs.
Okay, yeah.
I remember my grandma, just a fearless lady, man. She just found out, she found the drugs or whatever, and she already knew. She knew who who it was from, everything. And she just went right down there to him, you know what I'm saying, after everything, blew over. And she just went right down there to him, just slapped him, across the face. And I'm like, damn, like that's a damn drug lord. But even then, even then,
But like you said,
it was a code. So he was like, I'm sorry, grandma, you know how it is out here, I had to whatever, but the honor, the respect factor, you know what I'm saying?
Even though who he was,
yeah,
having a older lady come up to him, slap him, put him in his place.
the respect factor,
Respect,
bro. Yeah, yeah. I think you can't do that now, bro, because these youngest, man, they shooting off of anything.
Yeah, I feel like they lost a lot of the
Yeah.
youngins.
Yeah,
Lost that respect factor.
yeah. And
How do we get it back? How do we get back?
Man, honestly, I think we just have to stop idolizing. And I know it's hard, man, because we are built in our music. You know what I'm saying? Like our culture is like the Bay Area is like one of those, especially Oakland is one of these places where it's like the music is actually like in our lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? So
it's crazy that they're trying to use lyrics.
You talk about pimping. You talk about it just everything, man. The game itself, we kind of grow up in that in Oakland. But I do think nowadays it's not a lot of creativity in the music. I think that's where we need to start, and it's very unfortunate, that you kind of have to disconnect.
Yeah.
And I don't really. I mean, if I'm out in the club, like, of course I want to hear some Sexy Red in the club. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm not listening to rap music on the daily. You know what I'm saying? I'm not. It's just eroding your brain, man. To be honest.
Yeah, you're not driving around.
I'm not bumping. Yeah. No, I'm not.
Booty hole brown.
Yeah. None of that, man. None of that killing. None of that. Fucking people's baby mamas. None of that. It's just not beneficial. And when you.
But when you're in the club, it is a vibe.
Oh, absolutely, for sure.
Yeah.
When you're growing up with a culture now where the kids are very influenced, they don't, they like celebrities are idolized now more than anything else. And there's no role models anymore. You know what I'm saying? It's not really people out here it's not cool to be a stand-up guy. You know what I'm saying? Like you gotta be the flashiest, you gotta be the hardest, you can't take no disrespect. And honestly, we really only do that to our own people, to be honest with you. Like I ain't never really seen too many people get into it with white people in Oakland. You know what I'm saying? They just don't. And if they do have a problem with them, it stops then and there. But for some reason, I don't know, when it's another nigga, they like, I can't let this nigga walk away. It's like, no, I gotta shoot him. I gotta do this and that. It's like, bro, it's like, yeah, I don't know what it is, man. It's like this chip on our shoulder whenever we interact and have problems with ourselves. And, it always got to get taken to a whole nother level. You know what I'm saying? Like, so.
And the crazy thing is I always feel like it's some sort of misunderstanding.
Yeah.
And if they spent a couple minutes just to talk about it, people in general, if people would just spend 2 to 3 minutes talking about the conflict, they're like, oh, it's just a misunderstanding.
And most of the things, conflicts can be resolved just through basic conflict resolution. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
But, we don't have that temperament right now, though. It's like, we got to take it there immediately.
Did you ever have that temperament?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, man. I've been in, quite a few fights, man. And just like, just having that chip on my shoulder, you know what I'm saying? Always eager to prove to somebody like, hey, don't fuck with me type shit.